Jessie B. Scrapbooking back, and today I'm going to give you a layout share of my counterfeit kit for the month of April. Here are the papers, and I picked all these papers from paper pads and single papers in my stash, and I think that they are very, very pretty. And so I'm also going to do a process video at the end of this, so stay tuned for that. But I'm just flipping through the papers here so you can see what all is in my kit. On the blog at Counterfeit Kit, you can see the inspiration kit that they chose for this month, and it's a really pretty kit. And so I kind of just stuck with the papers they had in that kit and went with the same feel. And yeah, so here are all the papers. Get those out of the way now. And then I'll bring in the stickers and alphas and stuff that I'm going to be using. A lot of these stuff come from the dollar store, but some come from like Michael's or Joann's and Walmart. But yeah, these are just stuff that I've had in my stash, so I want to see if I can use some of them. Like that one there, I'd love to be able to use up. These are a whole bunch of butterflies from the dollar store that I've stuck into the same container. There's like 3 different packets in there. And yeah, I just went with the same feel of the papers, tried to get the colors and then whatnot. Here are the little sprinkly bits I plan on using, and then here are some wood veneer and some dollar store laser cut pieces. And then I fussy cut 3 pieces of paper, and so they're all in this little bag here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrap these pictures of my son and my husband, and I'm going to use this sketch here that I drew, and I figured it would be perfect for these 2 pictures. So yeah, let's get going. So I picked out my papers, and I picked out kind of the greens and off-whites, and then this one has the black polka dots, and I'm just going to follow the sketch pretty close, and actually stick really close to the sketch. I can honestly say when I started this, when I drew this sketch, I was not thinking I was going to use it for my husband and my son, but it actually turns out really well. I was thinking more, I think little girly, but with the papers that I picked and the colors and the prints, I think it works well. Instead of the flower that I have drawn in the background, I'm going to use these big circles as my big element of paper right beneath the pictures. That one actually cut down, well, it's just a little bit I cut off of the bottom, and so it's not going to end up being used, but I'll bring another one in. So you can see there where I just propped up the sketch that right behind the pictures there's like a big floral print, and that's where this big circles are going to be, and then the polka dots are going to be on the top and bottom, and then I want this green to be ripped and go as kind of like a border between the polka dots and the big circles. And so I'm just ripping all this paper here, and I end up going to my scraps and bringing in some scraps too, because I needed a little more color. So you can see how my polka dot or my big dots, green dots, do not, it's too small. So I'm going to bring in and cut a little bit bigger piece. And there we go. And then I'll use the ripped paper as borders in between. And I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for that little stripe at the top. I end up not using that that green. I'm going to go with a different color up there. But for now, I'm just getting everything glued onto this piece of white cardstock. I do come in with, like I said, I go to my scrap bin, and this paper here, this pink one, is actually what I fussy cut some of the flowers. It had flowers on the top and bottom of the paper, and I fussy cut one section of them out, and they're in this kit, and I just hadn't got around to cutting the other section out yet, but I used the paper as this pink to go behind this green, and I liked that, but it still didn't give it quite enough pop, so I will add another paper to it in a second. So there's the green and pink, but I needed more, and so I went and found this really bright red because my son is wearing a red shirt, so I figured pop of red would look really good. And I always like, the red and green, they contrast each other perfectly. So I'm just going to add little strips of torn red pieces behind the green and pink stripes I've already done. Yeah. And I will actually end up using this red at the top too, so there's 3 different spots with this red, and I'll use it as a top stripe as well. And getting it all on there. I like that bold look to it. And then I'm going to, the little picture of my husband, I'm going to pop onto this red here and give it a border. And then the bigger picture of my son, I'm going to put 2 mats behind it, one pink one and one minty green. And that way it pops kind of off of I didn't want to put a complete green because of the stripes in the background and the red too. So I went with this pink here, and then I'm going to rough up the edges of it. And then the opposite side of that torn green paper is a green and checkered. It's like tan and green. No, off white and green grid paper. And so I'm going to use that as my second layer. So, and I will rough up the edges of it too. There you go. But yeah, I think this layout turns out pretty cute. It's not in the normal colors that I would choose, but that's the fun part about putting a kit together, is that you can grab papers out of it that you wouldn't normally put together, but once you do it, you're like, oh well, that actually looks good. Or oh well, I won't do that one again. So here's where I'm going to put at the stripe at the top. Like I said, I'm going to use this red. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to put a little piece of torn pink on the top, so it brings that pink and red up further on the page. So I'll get all that adhered down, and then I'll come in with my liquid glue, and I'll put the pink stripe on there because it's a lot smaller and not going to I can't use the ATG, it was too big. So got that there. Now I'll get the pictures here down. And I was going to pop some of them up onto foam, and then I decided not to. And but I did grab these phrase sticker, I don't know, puffy stickers from the Dollar Tree. One just says I love you, and the other one says forever and always. So I put those on the little cluster areas I'm going to build up. And then these little sticker book has these green, different color green flowers and red flowers. And so I'm going to sprinkle them around in the spots that I want to build my little clusters. And I don't want a whole lot of florally flowers on this, but I did want some green. So I'm using these little cactuses that are here in the sticker book, and I'm just kind of tucking them behind the little word phrases. That way it just gives it that little pop of green without having little faces, and I cutting off the bowls that they're sitting in, so they're just the green, and I'm liking that. So I'm going to put another cactus up in the top here where I want my title to sit, and I'll just use it as the base of that cluster. And I'm going to grab these big I don't know, title stickers. They're very, very sparkly. I don't know where they're from. I've had them for a while. And I'm just putting love in the sparkly gold. And then I'm just adding some more hearts and flowers around to fill out that cluster. And then I'll also come in with the alphas that are in the sticker book and write this. So my title will be Love This. And these pictures, there's nothing, not a huge story behind them. It's just we were out in the woods. My husband and son were flagging where they needed to put a landing, and I just went with them that day. And so I just grabbed some pictures of them as they were walking around. And so I added some a butterfly and then 2 more flowers in that other little sticker sheet that I had stuck in the book, and just to help fill it out a little bit. And then here's where I'm putting the word this. So I got that done. And now I'm going to come in with my word phrase stickers here. And these are Tim Holtz phrase stickers. And I'm going to end up putting 3 of them on here. One I put right on the picture. I think that's what I'm doing now. Yeah. So anyways, I put one on the picture. It says he could make it on his looks alone. Another one up at the top says heart to heart. And then another one at the bottom, it says loving heart. And then I'm adding these little sprinkly bits, and just they're little yellow. They're kind of like really cool, because if you look at them one way, they're yellow. Look at them a different way, and they're pink little flowers. And that was just what I'm going to use for my little scattering. And I get those. I put 3 in each cluster. And that is it. Here is a closer look at the sketch, and here are the close-ups at the end. I really think this one turned out cute. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.